In the chilling void of the unknown, there exists a nexus of horror, a crossover of unimaginable proportions. A place where the nightmares of our collective unconscious come to life, where fear is made flesh, and where death itself is but a gateway. Imagine, if you dare, a collision course of two extraordinary dimensions, a crossroads between two epic narratives of terror that have haunted our dreams, plagued our nights, and cast long shadows over the corners our waking minds for countless decades. The first, a figure of unparalleled dread, Pinhead, the lead cenobite from Clive Barker's cult hit, Hellraiser. A creature birthed from the twisted and macabre, whose malicious intentions and thirst for torment have driven him to become a lord of suffering and pain. This entity, this being of darkness and despair, is not just a mere monster. He is an embodiment of a perverse pleasure in the horrors of the human condition, a twisted testament deepest, darkest fears. The second being, an equally formidable, equally horrifying figure, the silent, relentless hunter, Michael Myers from John Carpenter's timeless classic Halloween. An enigma that embodies our deepest fears, a remorseless killer who stalks the night with a singular, haunting purpose. Seemingly human, yet driven by an inner darkness that knows no limitations or boundaries. He is an inescapable force, a creature that lurks in the shadows of our nightmares, his faceless mask a haunting symbol of the horror he brings. Two monstrous icons, titans of terror, each of their own brand of horror. Each a perversion of our darkest emotions and fears, each defined by their insatiable lust for fear and destruction. Now, imagine if you can, these two behemoths of the horror genre, these keepers of the night, these architects of our worst nightmares, clashing in one singular, spine-chilling narrative, the dread-inducing Pinhead and the relentless, silent stalker Michael Myers, both now converging in one spine-chilling narrative. Consider first the enigmatic and terrifying Pinhead, the high priest of hell, the master of the cenobites. This creature, this being, is unlike anything we've ever known. He is no mere beast, no simple ghoul that lurks in the shadows. Far from it, he is much more. A shadowy figure, draped in an aura of dread, he is the embodiment of our deepest, most primal fears, the embodiment of all that is wicked and profane. He is not merely a monster, but something far more complex and sophisticated. He is an entity of a higher order, a deity of sorts, ruling over his dominion with the authority of an omnipotent god. A deity, however, of a rather peculiar kind. He is a deity of pain and pleasure, of torment and ecstasy, of horror and delight. A deity that does not seek worship, but submission. A deity that does salvation but delivers damnation. He does not just exist, he reigns. He reigns from the shadows, from the corners of our mind we dare not venture into, from the crevices of our soul we refuse to acknowledge. His physical form, though horrifying to behold, is merely a reflection of the terror that lies within. A gruesome face, a chilling smile, and a head adorned with countless pins. Each pin, a testament to his authority, each a symbol of his power, each a grotesque testament to his otherworldly origin. Pinhead's realm is a place of darkness and despair, a dimension that is alien to our own. It is a realm that exists outside of our understanding of time and space, is void of any semblance of hope or comfort. It is a place where souls are not born, but torn, where dreams are not lived, but shattered. A place where the concept of time is fluid, where the laws of space are mere suggestions, where reality is a plaything for the sadistic whims of its ruler. His world is one of eternal torment, a place where pain and pleasure are intertwined in a macabre dance of despair. It is a dimension where the screams of the damned echo in a never-ending chorus, a symphony of suffering composed by the twisted maestro himself. It's a world where the concept of mercy is laughable, where the idea of escape is a cruel joke, a world that is as captivating as it is terrifying. The cenobites, his loyal servants, are just as terrifying. They are the physical manifestation of Pinhead's twisted desires. Creatures devoid humanity, they exist only to serve their master, to inflict his brand of horror upon those unfortunate enough to cross paths with them. They are the torturers, the executioners, the harbingers of Pinhead's unholy wrath. He watches, he lurks, he waits. His presence is always felt, even when he is not seen. His aura of dread seeping into every corner, every shadow, every thought. He waits for the moment when the pain is too much, when the spirit breaks, when the soul surrenders. Then, and only then, does he act. He emerges from the shadows, his head adorned with countless pins, a grotesque testament to his otherworldly origin. His realm is one of eternal torment, a dimension where time and space bend to his sadistic whims. On the other side, we have the embodiment of pure, unfiltered evil, Michael Myers. A silent predator, his presence looms large over the unsuspecting town of Haddonfield. His mask, as emotionless and devoid of humanity as the man behind it, has become a symbol of relentless terror. He is a force of nature, an unstoppable killing machine, a living nightmare that has plagued the sleepy town every Halloween night. Now imagine the pandemonium that ensues when these two worlds collide. The once peaceful town of Haddonfield becomes the epicenter of this cosmic horror. Pinhead, ever the puppet master, seeks to extend his realm of torment into our world, using Haddonfield as his gateway. Michael Myers, the embodiment of evil, finds a new adversary, an enemy that matches his relentless nature. The citizens of Haddonfield, already scarred by the horrors of their resident terror, now find themselves in the crossfire of this terrifying face-off. The night, once a canvas for Michael's reign of terror, now echoes with the sinister laughter of Pinhead, the air thick with the dread of the impending doom. How does Michael respond to this new threat, this entity that seems to rival his own monstrous nature? Does he bow to the superior power of Pinhead, or does the silent stalker rise to the challenge, turning his blade towards this new enemy? And what of Pinhead, the High Priest of Hell? Does he find in Michael a worthy adversary, or merely another soul to torment in his twisted dimension? Can he bend the will of the embodiment of evil to his own sadistic whims? The stage is set, the players are in their positions. The night air of Haddonfield is ripe with fear, anticipation, and the promise of a confrontation that could shatter the very fabric of their reality. As the clock ticks towards the witching hour, the tension becomes palpable. One thing is certain this Halloween night: Haddonfield will bear witness to a horror like never before. But what happens when the clock strikes midnight? Who emerges victorious in this clash of titans? Does Haddonfield survive this night of ultimate terror? Well, that, dear listener, is a tale for another time. For now, let the suspense hang in the air, as haunting as the silent gaze of Michael Myers, as chilling as the mocking laughter of Pinhead. The night is still young, and the horror has only just begun.